Welcome again, everyone. Bev's Pottery at Home during the COVID crisis. And we'll start again. I've got raccoon clay here. I'm going to turn the radio down so I don't compete with it.
No contact. But if they don't contact us, how are we going to know it's time?
Okay, here we go. I'm using raccoon clay, which in this case is one called WSO. And I'm using a piece of chamois to stick my plaster bat to the wheel, and it's a lot cleaner than trying to use clay. And this is reclaimed clay, so it's a little stiff, but I'll fight with it a bit. And I'm wedging it on the wheel as well as from the bin, so I can make sure I don't have too many bubbles and some evenness in the clay. And this also helps me center my clay on the bat. When my hands stop moving around, I can be pretty sure that my clay is centered. And now I'm going to enter the clay and check, make sure I don't go right through to the bottom, because I do want to make a bottom on this. Basically, I'm going to be making a cylinder again. And if I want to check, what I like to do is fill the hole with a bit of water. Not fill it, just a dab of water. And then I stop the wheel and push the pin tool in and measure where the bottom meets, and I'm pretty much about almost a ½ inch, so I'm plenty deep, plenty, there's still plenty of room to go, but I'll allow for, if I stop there, it'll allow for some compression to happen, and that way I'm down far enough. So I'm going to start creating the bottom of my pot by pushing out with my thumb at 12 o'clock. And this clay does need a bit of water to get it moving. I'm going to make sure I go back and forth on that bottom to compress. And every time I do this, make sure I'm remaining in center and compressing the bottom. Just checking now for how much meat I've got, how much clay I've got to pull up, and I think that's going to be enough. I'm going to try to make kind of a slender vase or structure anyway. Vases aren't too successful with raku because it's very porous, sometimes doesn't even hold water. So dried flowers work fine. Okay, so now my first pull up, and I put some water in my hands. I'm using my knuckle, you can see here, as this clay is very stiff and I need to be able to be strong enough on my pull. And I'm pinching, but most of the force is from the outside. The inside is basically just applying light pressure. And my finger inside is directly across from the outside knuckle, and I'm pulling up, that's forming is being pulled up to the top, and as I get to the top I tilt in somewhat to keep my edge at the top into the center. If I start going out, I'm creating more of a bowl, and this is more structurally sound when you're going, especially when you're going tall, or you're trying to go tall. You want to keep that rim at the top, first of all, smoothed out and compressed, and also tipping into the middle so that you have this shape towards the middle. Now I need a bit more water, and I'll try that. And I'm getting kind of long for my fingers, so I'm going to have to put my whole hand in. It distorts the clay for roundness a little bit, but it's okay. There are tools you can use. I just prefer my hands, at least at this stage. Okay, I'm just going up gradually because this clay is very stiff, and it's recycled clay, and I don't want to stress it out too much. It's not as foolproof as fresh clay. And I'm going up, a little bit thin there, and up to the top and tilt to the inside. And I'm going to choke this thing up a little bit, or collar it. And I got a bunch of water inside that I want to mop up. I can do that with my sponge on a stick. And there we go. Get that. There we go. At this point, I'm going to try to go in again with my hand without going too crazy here. And I might need a little bit of water on my arm further up. Okay. I gotta be real careful that I'm very steady this time, because I don't want to be, there's a thin part right there that I have to sort of skirt over, and I don't know if I can go much taller than that. Coloring and evening. My edge is a little wonky. Okay, I think I'm thin enough now. I'm going to take a tool and a turning tool here, like this. It's got a rounded edge on one side, and I'm actually going to hold it in there and push out the bottom a little bit. And then I'm going to look at it and see where this shape is going to take me. I don't always have a clear plan. It kind of comes to me as we go. But, dropped my tool? No, there we go. Okay, I'm going to mop up some more water from there. Okay, use this again, And I'm pushing out at about along this edge here, and on at about 8 o'clock, I guess. Trying to keep everything steady. Don't want to move this stick abruptly, because I'll stretch the clay only in one spot then. And I think that's enough for now. Alright. Alright, I'm going to color it in a little bit. And gradually go up. Okay, I think I can go a little bit further with this. Starting right here on this side. And again, I'm about 8 o'clock. And I'm going to leave it at that. And collar again. When I collar, I'm kind of putting my fingers in a triangle, like so, and I'm touching the clay mainly in 3 places, so it's getting the same amount of pressure everywhere. And there we go. Okay. Recycled clay has a bit of junk in it. Just thinning this out a little bit at the top, raising it up a little bit, minutely. I think I'm going to try got that shape there. I think I need to still make this a bit wider to achieve what I want here. I think I want kind of a handle on this and a spout, more for a planter than anything else. And I don't want this to be too narrow there. Let's try. The worst that could happen is that it could collapse. Okay. Let's see how that is now. I need a bit of water on the outside. I think that's all I can handle here. I'm going to take my metal rib and just dry up some of the clay here so it's not too weak. And just collect up the slip a bit on there so that it doesn't stay weak. I want it as strong as it can so I can play with the top now. And I'll take some of the clay off of there. is find a part of the rib that matches the curve and tilt it to where you need, and that way you can get the excess slip off. I'm happy with that one. I'm happy with that. I just want to tilt out this lip a little bit more. I think I'm going to cut this, at the spout and then put the handle on. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this shape. It'll work out good. Do a little hand building and we'll be fine. So just clean up the bottom now with stick. Oh, where's my stick? That'll work. Oh, here it is. Something sharper than that, I think. There we go, that's better. There we go. Got it. There we go. Hopefully I don't have to put a bottom on this. I don't do much trimming on the bottom. I think it'll be fine. There we go. And we're done. Thank you for joining me.